So it's been about a week since Invincible Season 2 has ended. Incredible show, amazing season, great twist for those who haven't read the comics, but for those who have, we saw these things coming. But one thing that people ain't ready for is season 3 and the craziness and how everything is going to step up. As Robert Kirkman even said, recently, every episode of season 3 is going to feel like a finale, and he's totally right. I'm here today to talk about what to expect in season 3 of Invincible. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. Mark and Eve are going to end up together in season 3. I was predicting that for season 2, but kind of felt like they were not going to go in that way when the season started progressing, how certain things went compared to the comics. But season 3 for sure, we're going to see this power couple come together, and with how they have changed the story, with how their relationship has been going in the show compared to the comics. I'm excited and curious to see how they play it out in the show. Next is Oliver growing up a bit and gaining his powers. Yes, people thought he was actually going to grow up, in this second season, especially how they talk about how, they grow up fast, his kind. Him being a mixed Viltrum and Traxon, people expected that, but it didn't happen this season. But next season, we're going to see that him growing up a bit, gaining his powers and wanting to be a superhero, help Mark out, and of course, choosing the name Kid Omni-Man, which is, I know what you're thinking. He's going to get a costume, and that brings me to the next point, Mark getting his blue costume. Is, should I say iconic? It's one of the things that people who have read the comics were looking forward to. And I know people have been asking, like those who have only watched the show and have seen people on Twitter, online, talking about Mark getting this change. And they keep asking why. Well, in the comics, it was actually Art's decision. He's the one who surprised Mark with the suit, talking about how he didn't like the yellow anymore, it's outdated. And it also complements Oliver's suit, as they are going to work together as superheroes. Next is a very big one. The fallout between Mark, Invincible, and Cecil is something that, we've seen in the show since season 1. They've not always had, a great relationship, even though they've worked together. They've had some, okay, cool moments between them. But mostly, they've had tension between them since Mark started working for him, because Cecil wants him to be that good soldier who will drop everything and just rush in, do whatever he says. And we all know Mark is not like that. He does things that he feels are right. And the reason for this fallout is that instead of putting the villains that are arrested away, like he does for most of them, but Cecil keeps some of them working for him, as we saw in season 1 with Sinclair, who experimented horrifically on people, innocent people, that we even saw the aftermath in this second part of the season with Rick. Cecil has employed the guy to continue his work, but for him. And also Darkwing, who we saw in the first part of the season, where he was literally murdering criminals. It doesn't matter what crime you did, you got to go. And Mark caught him. Mark later finds out that they are still free and working for Cecil, and that is when Mark lost it, and that is where the fallout began. There was a whole fight scene and a whole craziness that went down, which also led to some of the Guardians of the Globe, most of them actually exiting their group because of what Cecil was doing, and especially what he did to Mark. Now I know that the TV show Cecil is much different from the comics. The comics, he was way harder and just way more ruthless, just less compassion and humanity, even though he has shown some in some of the issues. But compared to the show, like, he's more mellowed and he listens, he's always there to provide support, even though sometimes he feels like he's also playing his own game. Overall, they just elevated Cecil's character in the show. Now next, we have a very big one, that is the Invincible War. If you guys thought that Mark destroying Instrum Levy like that was the end, nope, the guy is alive. This guy is like a cockroach in the comics. He manages to keep coming back each and every single time. Sorry for cursing. But after he was fixed up, he spied on Mark like for a long time and saw, his current life, his new girlfriend Eve, and then decided, why don't I just go to the other dimensions and gather all the Marks, all the Invincibles? Like we saw a few of them in the season 2 finale. Like this arc, you are going to see a whole lot more wicked, ruthless, just pure evil Marks, Invincibles. And some of the season 3 leaks showed some of them, and they are only doing it because Enstrom promised them that he's going to let them spread, the Viltrumites, rule and everything across all other dimensions. So he's going to go into all the other dimensions and bring them into his dimension. This guy that I hate so much, and just basically destroy everything, lay mass destruction and murder across every city, so that it will tarnish his reputation and let people see him how I see him, and then of course by the end kill him. That is what I want to also do. That's just basically what Invincible did in the comics. Like this guy was insane, and that whole arc was just shocking. The amount of deaths that occurred. Almost half of the superheroes on the planet got killed. Now the deaths are not only going to come from this random superheroes or just supporting or just background characters. It's also going to be some that we care about. So yeah, guys, brace yourself. If you think that they faked us out on the deaths of some of these characters in season 2, then please prepare yourself. And just like the cameos that we got for Spider-Man and Batman, kind of in season 2, there was also a Spawn cameo in between all this chaos. Now, there are also new superheroes that are going to be introduced in season 3 and other new characters as well. I mean, it's obvious. One of them is Powerplex, he has just a horrific story that I don't want to get into. He's going to be an enemy of Invincible. We have Multiple, who is the brother of Duplicate, which in the comics, at the moment where Duplicate revealed herself to be alive to Immortal, they set up that story. But the show decided to cut that part. Another superhero that we will see is Brit, who in the comics appeared like way earlier on. There's also the character Wolfman, who also meets Invincible, has his own tragic story as well. There's also Battle Beast, who's also surprisingly imprisoned in that prison that Nolan is at. Don't know whether they will change it, but we last saw him in season 1 when he destroyed Mark and the Guardians. There's also the character Universa, who may also be introduced. Now, it makes sense for some of these characters to appear in season 3, looking at where the story is in the comics and where the show is. But some of these are backed by leaks that appeared recently. Brett, Wolfman, and other new characters as well. There are also old and returning characters like Dark Seismic, Titan especially, who was in last season, and also Mr. Liu, who they were both teased to appear in this season, but surprisingly, they never showed up in any form. And one big character that is going to make a huge impact in season 3 is Conquest.
Soon, another will come, and if he finds you still resistant to your destiny, he will demonstrate the error of your ways, and this whole planet will pay the...
Yep, he's that other one. This guy is like Omni-Man times 10 with no remorse or redeemable qualities. And it looks like Invincible was sneaky with it. In season 1, they actually showed a quick shot of him during those Viltrumite flashbacks. And if you think that fight with Omni-Man versus Invincible, or the one with Invincible and Anissa, or with Invincible was a big thing, was a big spectacle, was amazing, was shocking, then you ain't ready for this. Because this is truly going to be insane. The fight, the impact. Truly, this is something that I think is going to be in the finale of the season. Like, it's going to end the season. Now, some of the leaks show Mark, in his blue suit with his arms and leg, cased up to help him heal. That is the aftermath of Conquest. And in this major fight, are we going to see the true power of Adam Eve? I mean, if you watched the special, we did kind of see that, towards the end of the movie, but we are also going to see something similar. We are also going to see Mark do some training. He's never done that, but he's going to go to Cecil. They're going to do some high intense pressure training to get him to get stronger, for the incoming Viltrumite fight or whatever that may come their way. Now, next is Omni-Man and Allen breaking out of prison. Is just obvious. I mean, they teased it at the end. But they're going to become good friends. They're going to go back to the coalition, go on their own adventures, looking for the weaknesses against the Viltrumites that Nolan wrote in his books, all whilst helping other people and other inhabitants of other worlds. Now, that is what I can think of on top of my head of what is going to happen next season. The stories, considering where it ended in the comics, and certain things that were also teased in this second season. Now, they may also give us, the backstory of Cecil, which also happens in the comics. There's also Rexplode. There's also Rexplode, Monster Girl, and Duplicate. I don't know whether they may even bring a special out like the Adam Eve special, to tell these stories before season 3 comes out. I don't know, maybe they're going to insert it in season 3, but it just depends on them whether they want to tell those stories and how they want to tell them. I also know at this point it's too early to show Track, who is the the leader of the Viltrumites, but maybe next season they may mention him or allude to him or something like that. But anyways guys, these are the things that might well happen in season 3. If a trailer for season 3 comes out, I might make a video on it based on it to predict what we can expect. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. I also have other videos on Invincible. I have a video on all the references in episode 8 of season 2. I also have videos on episode 7 and 8 comparing the episodes to the comics, as well as all the fight scenes in the second part. I also have that for the first part as well. So I do hope you check those videos out. Leave a like for them and this one as well if you did enjoy it. It does help the video and the channel out, as well as sharing. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell not to miss any new video as well. As always, Nerdy Sage here. See you guys in the next one.